I'm not going to pretend like I'm any less of a degenerate than all you fucks watching this, so I'm just gonna get this out of the way now and say that I love to see Subaru and the people around him suffer. I'm the kind of person that unironically watches those videos that are like ReZero but it's only Subaru screaming in agony or some shit like that and actually kind of likes it. Also, Rim isn't best girl. Fuck you, fight me. Okay, that might not be the best way to start out a video, but whatever, let's just roll with it I guess. So, with ReZero finally getting a second season and not only my hype but also my adoration for the show restored to full strength, I figured what better way to express that passion than by making an arbitrary video talking about it. Just a heads up though, this video might be formatted a bit weird. We're going to be talking about what I like about the show in general, but also focusing on one particular arc of the show. I know that doesn't make much sense, but I'm going to try and make it make sense throughout this video. Who knows if I'll succeed in that though. Also, future editing Zim here. I'm currently in the midst of like having the worst fucking allergies in my life, I swear to god, so if I sound horrible, yeah, that's just a thing. I can't really do anything about it. But just here to give you a fair warning that there aren't going to be any clips from the show in this video, because unfortunately, apparently YouTube is a lot more strict whenever it comes to clips of ReZero compared to clips of Tower of God. Legit, I've spent a week trying to upload this fucking video, and it just doesn't work. Every time I do, YouTube immediately just blocks it, and you know, obviously that's not what I want. So yeah, I've opted to just not put any clips from the show in this video. So yeah, if you want to just kind of play this in the background, just audio only, don't watch the video, and just do something else while you listen to this, sounds like a great plan. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. With all that out of the way, we can get into the actual video now. My favorite part about ReZero isn't actually watching Subaru suffer. No, that shit hurts. It's hard to watch, but I still enjoy it a lot because I know that somehow Subaru will find a way to get his happy ending no matter what. No matter how impossible the odds are, he's going to keep fighting until he eventually comes out on top. And that's super fun to watch. I'm able to watch Subaru go through traumatizing thing after traumatizing thing, because I know that things will turn out okay in the end. With all that said though, I also really appreciate how skilled the author of the series is at making each death loop seem hopeless. As someone who spent a large portion of his life trying to write various stories, keyword trying, I sit in awe at how easily Tapai Nagatsuki manages to craft individual death loop scenarios that not only advance the plot forward but also send you on an emotional roller coaster. The fact that he can write a death loop that feels so impossibly hopeless it sends you into actual despair, and then still close it off with a happy ending that doesn't feel forced or Deus Ex Machina-like is seriously so impressive to me. I could never even dream of creating something that fucking amazing. I'm not even saying that to be down on myself or anything either. I'm just stating facts. In order to write a story like ReZero and write it well, you need to have a certain type of talent and skill, which is just something I don't personally have. And with all that in mind, it shouldn't come as any surprise to you that my favorite arc of this show, at least from what's currently been adapted, is the third and final arc of season 1. The third arc of the series goes all out and showing off what it is I like so much about ReZero. It really just pulls out all the stops and shoves all the things I love about the show right in your face and expects you to be able to handle it somehow. It's the first time in an anime where I genuinely felt like there was no hope for the characters in the show. With each new piece of information revealed to us, the whole situation just got progressively worse. And just when you think that things can't get any more hopeless, they fucking do. I'm not exaggerating when I say there were multiple times while watching Arc 3 where I had to just stop and take a break. The whole situation is very taxing to watch, and it's one of those things where if you actually care about the characters and the story, you kind of have to take a few breaks to really process things and get your thoughts together your first time watching through it all. And of course, we can't talk about the beauty and despair of Arc 3 without talking about episode 15, which is just a whole fucking nightmare to even think about. When most people who've seen ReZero think about episode 15, they think of the middle of the episode. They think of Yeah, they think of Rem, and for obvious reasons. This episode is both amazing and devastating for all the Rem stans watching the show. On the one hand, Rem gets plenty of screen time and is the main focus of the episode, since she kind of has to be considering the state Super is in after the traumatizing experience of seeing all the people he cares about dead. You get to see just how much she cares about Subaru and how far she'll go to protect him even when he's in an almost vegetative state, which I'm sure made all the Subaru X Rem shippers real fucking happy. On the other hand though, the episode literally starts out with Subaru finding Rem's dead body at the entrance to the manor, and things only get worse from there, with Betelgeuse playing Twister with Rem's body. But for me personally, when I think of episode 15, the middle bits with Rem are usually the last thing to come to mind. I don't know if I just don't care enough about Rem or something, but sometimes I honestly forget that shit even happened in episode 15, that it's the main reason everyone's so insistent on episode 15 being so devastating to watch. I obviously still remember that it happened, but my brain just doesn't connect that scene with episode 15 for whatever fucking reason. Now, I'm not saying that the middle parts of the episode aren't good, don't stand out, don't leave a lasting impression on you, because that's definitely not true. The whole part with Rim, everything leading up to it, and everything resulting from it are all super well directed and definitely leave a lasting impression. They do a good job of setting up the show's first proper villain. It instantly draws you into the plot revolving around the witch's cult, and almost effortlessly manages to make Betelgeuse a unanimously despised character by using the audience's love for Rim against them. So I'm by no means trying to say that only the beginning and the end of the episode are good, and that all the parts in between are absolute shit, or anything stupid like that. I'm just saying, I feel like the other parts of the episode really get slept on, and I'm not happy about it. Also, this is a bit off topic, but I'm kinda sick while recording this, so if my voice sounds weird, I'm sorry, I can't fucking help it. I should probably grab some water. The ending of episode 15 is a fucking masterpiece that made me feel a new type of emotion that no other anime has made me feel up to this point. I honestly don't even know how to describe how it made me feel, because it's just so good. I'll talk more about the ending of the episode in a bit, but first I want to talk about the start of the episode, because it's pretty fucking great too. Starting the episode out with a cold opener and almost 3 full minutes of Subaru just solemnly walking through the manor, seeing the dead bodies of all these people he knew personally and had attachments to, is a new kind of despair. And the way the whole scene was shot just makes it even worse. They don't even show most of the dead bodies within the series. You just get to see Subaru look somewhere, look horrified, and then see a brief flash of before when everyone was alive and having fun. In my opinion, this makes the whole scene hit harder than it would have if they'd just shown a bunch of dead bodies. Instead of just showing you a dead body covered in blood and expecting you to be sad, they're showing you things in a way that helps you to better see things how Subaru is seeing them. He doesn't just see a dead body, he sees someone he knows and cares about. He sees someone he has a personal connection with, dead, and he can't help but think of the happy memories he had with them before. From what we are shown of the bodies, you can tell that they definitely aren't in good shape either. They didn't die quick, painless deaths. They definitely suffered, which makes things infinitely worse. And, of course, since we're following Subaru as he discovers all this, we get to see his reactions. All of his reactions are pretty reasonable considering the situation. It starts out with him crying over Rem's dead body, and he throws up after seeing presumably most of the village kids dead, and finally we see him trying to reassure himself that it isn't his fault, which, by the way, it isn't. Just as a whole, the first few minutes of episode 15 are hard to make it through. It's just pure despair. There's really no other way of putting it, and seeing Subaru finally break under the pressure just adds on to that despair. The end of the episode isn't much better either. In fact, it's kind of worse. There is no happy ending or even the slightest shimmer of hope. It's just pure, unfiltered despair. The ending to episode 15 is without a doubt my favorite ending to an episode of ReZero. Hell, it might be my favorite ending to an anime episode ever. The point is, I love the ending of episode 15. It really stood out to me not only my first time watching the show, but also in all of the times I've rewatched it. And personally, I feel like one of the main reasons why I love this ending so much is the finality of it. It doesn't feel like the end of just one single episode of an ongoing series. It feels more final than that, more like the ending of a movie, especially considering the ending theme doesn't even play. The credits just start scrolling across the screen the way they would at the end of a movie, as the Requiem of Silence plays over it. There's no sense of closure or hope or anything to it. It just feels like the end. Which, like, damn, could you imagine if that was where the first season had ended? I would have lost my fucking mind. Genuinely, I don't know how me or anyone else watching the show would have coped with that. The anime community as a whole would have gone apeshit, considering how popular of a show ReZero was and is. There would have been nothing anyone could have done to calm it down. But, anyways, like I tried saying earlier, the beauty of ReZero for me personally isn't in the suffering. It's in the triumphs that come after the suffering, which also plays into why this is currently my favorite arc of the show. Despite starting out with a little over 3 episodes of just pure hopelessness and despair, Subaru does end up getting his happy ending after all. He stops the witch's cult, brings down the White Whale, reconciles with Julius, earns Crush's favor, and to top it all off, he even gets to confess to Emilia. All in all, the end of Arc 3 was refreshingly happy. That is, until the director's cut ruined it by reminding us that Who's Rim is more than just a meme. But, ignoring that one small detail, the ending to the arc is very unambiguously happy. And somehow it doesn't feel forced or undeserved. There's a very clear path that led to Subaru's eventual victory. None of the things that happened along the way felt forced or out of place. I will admit that the fight with the White Whale felt a bit odd at first, but that's not because it doesn't make sense or play into other aspects of the story. It's just because I didn't see it coming. I didn't come into ReZero expecting a battle of epic proportions against a giant flying whale that erases people's existence, so it just caught me a little off guard. But with that said, the fight with the White Whale still tied nicely into the story and helped to make Subaru's eventual victory against the witch's cult feel well earned. The fight with the whale shows how much Subaru has grown as a person and just how much he actually ended up learning throughout this death loop. To the people around him, he seems like a very competent and smart person in this timeline. And that's only because of the many hard lessons he's had to suffer through the process of learning over the past few episodes. Subaru gets his happy ending, but it isn't just handed to him on a silver platter. He has to work hard and suffer for it so that when he does eventually get it, it feels all the more rewarding. And for me personally, that's what makes ReZero so fun to watch. It's not just despair for the sake of despair. You get to watch characters suffer, you get to satisfy your inner sadist, but it isn't just pointless despair. There is a point to it, and it does eventually come to a happy ending. And every time it does come to that happy ending, it always feels way better than I honestly feel like it would have if we hadn't have went through all those downs and all those lows. So without getting too deep on Main, I don't know, I like ReZero. I love the show. I came to the show pretty late, honestly. I only watched it the first time in I don't even know when. I think February or something of this year. So I'm pretty new to this scene, but doesn't mean that I can't genuinely enjoy the show. But anyways, I guess with all that shit said, this is the end of the video. I hope you at least slightly liked it, and if you made it this far in the video, honestly, congrats, you've earned my trust, my respect. Thanks for watching the whole video, I guess. And with all that said, like always, hope you guys have a fucking amazing day. I guess I'll see you whenever.